And I'm gonna go and try to do this curve. So this seems that it goes back and holds that piece as well. So it's a little bit of a complicated line. So I'm not gonna bother in the perspective yet. I'm just gonna go and trace it. See, it goes up there and then it curves back out to connect to the leg. So create CV curve tool. I'm gonna open and I'm gonna make a 3-degree curve. That means, like as I showed last time, this is gonna be an organic shaped curve. I'm gonna close the settings and I'm gonna start from here and go like, not add too many points. So if from here to here is straight, just go all the way, and then when it curves around, you can add a couple of points there, and then I go with all the way down, and then I add 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 here, go all the way up. I don't care about the straight ones. I'm not putting many points. I don't want to put too many points on the way. It doesn't really make sense. Whenever it changes direction, I add maybe 3 points. Then I go up, and I don't really care what's going on after that. We can't see. So I'm going to press enter. Now this curve is a total flat curve. It's not going exactly to the directions that we want. And we have to like look at the images. I'm going to bring it on this side. I'm going to look at this image, and you notice that this thing goes inwards and then outwards, and so it's kind of complicated. So let's start from modifying that. I'm going to select this curve, and I'm going to select control vertices is the component mode of the curve. So I'm going to select these ones, and I'm going to move them out, and that distorts a little. So we need to kind of select them slowly and shape them something like that. So I'm gonna make sure this looks smooth, and you can also use, see, I'm like moving this on this axis, but you can actually move it on the Z and X at the same time by pressing this button here and moving this around. So it's kind of like a flat 2D. So I did that. Now it doesn't look good. So if we can't really evaluate that, go on the top view, press 4, and let's look at this. So see, now this doesn't look correct. So I'm just gonna shape it also using the top view. Something like this. So the perspective sometimes cannot help. You go to the top view. Now this goes, we might have, and then you go back to the side view, and you see what things are changing. So you have to we have to move the points here and adjust them. So now what I did is I used a couple of views to like refine this shape, and that is fine here. Now this point is supposed to go there and connect with another curve. So we'll see how we can mirror this curve and connect it. Now, it goes around, yeah, exactly. So now, if I look at this image, now this goes sort of inside the chair, this thing. So all these are going sort of more inwards. Something like that. And it moves along the seat and then goes out to connect to the leg. So that's what I'm going to do now. So the final point here should go all the way out and connect to the leg. So it should go something like that. But we are now missing points. So we don't have enough dots to create all this. So this should go something like that. Move out, right? But we don't have enough dots. How can we fix that problem? So we're out of points here, and there are not too many. and something like this. So whenever we don't have many points, we go back to, okay, object mode. So now select the curve. We need to add some points here. So we go edit point, actually, sorry, curve point. And when you press curve point, you can actually add more vertices. So I can select one over here, hold down the shift, select one down here, and maybe add another one down here, so we can kind of make it more sharp. So those are 3 selections. It's not added anything yet, so there's nothing added. It's just selecting. Then you have to go to the curves. In 2015, you have to be in the edit curve menu. So I'll show you in a minute. So here you can say insert knot means insert a point wherever you see a yellow dot, a selection dot, then we can insert a knot. So if we click on that, the command is has worked. So now we see that we have more points. We added more points here. So this should go like that. That. Actually, what happens is it's a really sharp, so we need to sharpen this out. Something like that. I think that goes very sharp. So now, see now we don't have many points again. I'm going to go to my right view. And we also lost the shape, so I always have to go back and refine it. So these guys need to be on the same height, sort of. I'll go back to my perspective. So now that's what I wanted. I wanted a very sharp turn. Now I'm going to go back to a curve point. See how this is breaking up? It's because we don't have enough points. So let's add one here, one here, one here, and one here. Now I'm going to make this really high res. So curves, insert knot. Notice how that became very smooth because we added more points. Now this is kind of, this is too many points here. I'm just going to get rid of some. It started to get too complicated here. So I'm going to select that, delete it. Select this, move it so it's straight. Go back to my right view. Make sure everything is straight here. And always just go to the right view and refine your shape. So see, I'm doing a lot of editing here so I can get this as close as possible. I think this is enough. Well, one problem is that this here, these guys need to move down a little bit, somewhere over there. Select it. So see, sometimes I select the, it's really difficult. I'm gonna go ahead and select this guy and put it in a layer. And this is cushion number 01. Okay. And what I'm gonna do is lock the layer. So I'm gonna press a couple of times until this is like, tells it's R. So that way I'm not gonna be the closer you move these points, the sharper the curve gets. Okay, so if I go back to my right view, notice that when I do all these, look how I messed up the shape again. So I just need to move these up now. Because when you're on the perspective, it's really difficult to, you can't avoid to lose your shape. So what I'm doing is like refining it on this view. I'm just moving everything up again. So obviously this takes longer time. So this should go down here, this should go up here. And I'm going to add a couple of points here as well. So curve point. I'm going to add a couple of points here. Curves, insert knot. That way I can make this a little sharper. So this guy can move. What's over here? Okay. Right here. Just make these a little closer. Actually, you can see that. So this looks okay. I just need to make this all. Move these down. And I'm gonna finish here. So that this, I need to. All these points, I'm gonna just move them up so they're on the same level. So I have it. Now I'm going to extrude it. So I have everything here. And this is supposed to be a little bit less. I'm going to go to the top view. And move this in a little. So it's not like sticking out too much. Okay, so now I'm going to have to deal with the other piece, which is the mirror piece. So how can I mirror this curve? Let's see. I have this curve done, and I need to mirror that. So the way to mirror a curve, it would be to duplicate it and then, flip it. But in a way, I could just, the other way to work is to like make this, continue the curve in the middle, and then extrude all the shape, and then mirror the shape, which is a better way to work. So what I'm going to do is like select this point here. Let me get this guy also locked here. So select this curve, select the points, and move this point all the way sort of in the middle. I'm going to eyeball it, so over there. But then I just messed up this shape. So what I'm going to do is go to curve point and add some points here. 3 points. So curves, insert knot. Now select these points and start moving them up. So I can move this up, I can move this guy up. And I can move this guy up and also bring him back out. So that way, and I can go to the right view, make sure that these are all, I'm going to select them all and scale them and move them back. So, and then I'm going to go to the front view, select them, scale them, select that guy, move it towards here. So all this is done. So the curve is done. Now I'm going to stop the video and go to the next step, which is to extrude the curve and create all the shape.